I would like to welcome you, and I thank you very much for being here for this very first lecture for entrepreneurship. This is a module that is offered as a MOOC, and that's a massive open online course. And at time when I'm teaching, you will see that I'll be maybe not only addressing you, but I'll be addressing some concerns that came from the students online. And I hope that we are going to have, this is an experiment for me as well, and I hope that we are all going to have very good time. So the way that things are going to go today, I'll share the outline with you. So I would like first to talk very quickly about the cross-structure and assessment. And then I'll talk about the MOOCs and education in the 21st century, because I believe this is a very important thing to establish for all of us. And then I'll talk about the course philosophy. So how different is this from the other entrepreneurship courses and books that are literally flooding the market? And there's a personal note from me. Why am I doing this? And I will compare entrepreneurship to CDIO, and I will share what CDIO is. Some of you know that already, but for those who are not aware. And I'll talk about brain rewiring. You know, I put this course online a couple of weeks ago, and there's a promise of brain rewiring, and that have created a lot of interest. And I'll talk about how are we going to do this. And I'll talk about the teams and the projects that are central to this course. So the assessment, as you know, every course will take place over 14 weeks. And the total expected learning hours is 120 hours. So that includes your study time, your discussion time. If you are spending around that time, that's about the right kind of level of engagement that we are expecting from you. The lectures will be every Wednesday, like today, 8 to 10 a.m. So that's Malaysia time. We are thinking of streaming the lectures live, but for this to happen, I will need really feedback from the online students. If that adds value to them, then we will put the effort to do it. Otherwise, we will do it, you know, like we record it first, and then we do the editing, and only then we put it online. As I promised the online students, lectures will be on YouTube. However, for countries where YouTube is not available, we have worked out another alternative, so everyone will have access to the lectures. The assessment is 50% on the coursework and 50% for final exam. So the final exam will be given to both you guys on campus and those online. And the 50% assessment will be mainly on a business plan that has to be submitted for the projects that you guys are going to work on. And also, students will need to maintain a portfolio of learning. So you will need to tell us, how did you learn? How did you achieve the objectives and the learning outcomes of this course? And there'll be other course activities. We will be asking you to give us to make a video about certain things, to create a website for the company that you are working on, and things like that. And as I said, a project represents a central piece of the coursework. So the business plan will be about the project that you guys have selected. The learning portfolio would also focus on the activities that you have been doing with your team and working on and throughout the course. I'll talk a bit about MOOCs, because I believe it's very important to understand why are we doing this. So as the name implies, they stand for massive, open, online courses. So these are, how many students can I put in a lecture theater? 200, 300. If I have a big lecture theater, 1,000. You know, some of the MOOCs attracted 170,000 students. And this is really changing the game. It's changing the way education is being delivered. I'm not sure who will be having a better experience actually. You guys on campus or someone online who could literally pause me and then go and have a drink and then come and play back. So this has a lot of potential, and it promised to transform the world of higher education and the entire landscape. Because now you guys have an option. Even those who are on campus, as we speak, maybe there are other courses of entrepreneurship that's offered by other professors and other universities, and you may just opt to take that. At the end of the day, you are taking ownership of your own learning. So currently we have actually 930 online and around 70 of you, so it's around 1,000, and the number is increasing. I kept it open for the online students on purpose because even if someone maybe won't be able to have a meaningful project if he or she comes halfway through, but I thought it was good for them to allow to register and see the activities that are taking place within the course. And we would like to create as much interaction as possible between not only you guys, but also between the on-campus students and the online students. I have already received requests from some of the online students to come and attend some of our classes. And I'm seriously thinking of maybe the day of the business plan presentation to have an open campus, and anyone who can come, we will allow them to be here with us physically. So the course will progress, and we are open to any requests from both on-campus students as well online students. So this is not only my course, it's really your course, and you do it the way you like. This is from a Malaysian perspective, this is quite a historic moment because this is the first massive open online course in the history of this country. So I think, I hope that you are proud that you are part of this experiment, and I hope you will be also part of making it a huge success. Before I move to the philosophy, any question about the course structure and the MOOCs? Please? Or is it clear? Or you are still sleepy? So if it's clear, I can ask you questions, right? So I can give you the first quiz, which is worth 5 marks. What do you think? No quiz. Okay, great. So let me move on, and I hope that you guys warm up as we move on. So I'll talk about the philosophy of the course. And before this, let me ask you a question. What is entrepreneurship to you? Okay, Chris. It's okay, we are all learning, don't worry.
For me, entrepreneurship is about providing a product or service in exchange for money.
So providing, I couldn't hear.
Providing a product or service in exchange for money.
So providing a product or service in exchange for money. Okay, do you agree? So for example, if I have drug and I can sell to you, I'm an entrepreneur. So that's a product. You have the money, and I sell to you. Is that what you are trying to say?
Technically, yes, that does count as an entrepreneur, but illegal.
Kind of illegal entrepreneur, but it's still nonetheless entrepreneurship. Do you agree with this? Who agrees? Raise your hand since you don't want to talk. Okay, Mingtat agrees. Who else agrees? Yeah. Okay, you agree. Okay, who doesn't agree? Okay, Kesh doesn't agree, and I think he's asking for the mic as well. Yeah. Yeah, you need to speak loud.
Okay.
This is just for the recording, yes.
I think entrepreneurship is just not about a product or a service. I think entrepreneurship is actually a way of thinking. It's not just about, it's actually the system, creating a business model, that is entrepreneurship, which is the system. Not exactly just service, product, sales or marketing, which most people think that's exactly what entrepreneurship is. So I think it's just not that. I think it's the whole system, I think it's the model that is entrepreneurship. The way a person thinks up of a model,
right.
a system. So that's what I believe entrepreneurship is.
Okay, great. So Chris says, whenever you have a product or a service, people are willing to buy from you, they have money to pay you, then that's entrepreneurship. But Cash is saying, no. It's beyond this. It's about the thinking. How do you think differently and things like that? Anyone else has anything to say, please? So if for example, there is a service that I would like to provide for free, am I an entrepreneur or not? It's something new, and I don't want to charge. Like, for example, this MOOC, I'm actually making no money out of it. The people who are attending online are attending for free. So is this entrepreneurial kind of thinking or not? So what do you think? Let's ask the exchange students, since the local students are a bit shy. Yep.
Okay, I think that it's not entrepreneurs because you cannot get any pay from it. So it's basically charity.
So that's charity. Okay, so charity is not an entrepreneurship kind of thing. Who agrees with this? You guys have to start forming an opinion. I know Chris agrees. I know Cash doesn't. What about Yvonne? Yvonne wants to say something. Can you give her the mic? Please. You don't have to stand up. But Yvonne, you need to speak up. Loud.
I agree with what you said.
Right. So you agree that charity is not, if there's no money, there's no entrepreneurship. Okay, great. Let's move on and let's see how things are going to progress. I'm actually very happy that we have different opinions. That's extremely important for having a lively kind of discussion. So why entrepreneurship? So is it about making money or making a difference? That's really the question. Now, anyone can put making money as the purpose, and they will most likely, if they put enough effort, enough system, they will make money. But if you put making a difference as your ultimate objective, I think you can also end up making money if you wish to charge. So this is really the new way of thinking, if I may borrow from Cash, that I'm inviting all of us to adopt. Now, if we don't put a higher purpose for our activities, including entrepreneurial activities, then we will end up by saying, well, you do it if it's legal, you do it if it's illegal, you don't do it. Now, some of the legal activities are still quite bad for environment and bad for other things, right? So the law doesn't really define everything in our life. So if it can make money and it's legal, then let's do it, and that's entrepreneurial. I would like to challenge this, and I have a couple of examples to share with you. So I also would like to think that there is an entrepreneur in each and every one of us that needs to be awakened. I've seen some comments from especially the on-campus students, because this course is elective to some, but it's compulsory to the others. And for those who are supposed to take it because it's a core module, they've mentioned that, well, I actually don't want to do anything with business, but since I'm forced to take the course, I'll just take it. So maybe let me ask a question. Who thinks that he or she is an entrepreneur or a person who is interested in being an entrepreneur? Just raise your hand. Okay, who's not interested in being an entrepreneur? Okay. Who is interested but think cannot be an entrepreneur? Okay. Who did not raise his hand at all? So what are you guys?
In my opinion, because each individual has their own opinion what entrepreneurship is.
Yes.
Since it's not defined at the moment, so each person currently, it's very hard for us to describe specifically what you're asking.
Right.
That one person, what entrepreneurship
Okay.
is. Because each of us has different versions.
Wonderful. So let me rephrase. Following your own definition of entrepreneurship, do you think you are an entrepreneur? Okay. Following your own definition of entrepreneurship, who doesn't want to be an entrepreneur? Okay, great. And who, following your own definition of entrepreneurship again, who wants to be an entrepreneur but thinks that he or she doesn't have the skills? So you want to be, but you don't have the skills. Okay, great. So there is at least quite a sizable number who are interested in being entrepreneurs, whether to make money or make difference or make whatever, but they think that, I don't think I can do it. I'm an engineering student. How would I be an entrepreneur? So that's great. And I hope that as we move on, we will converge on at least one thinking model. So the premise of this course is, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you are endowed with all the skills that you need, and hopefully the course will help you awaken those. Now, for those who do not want to be entrepreneurs, I hope that I'll convince you that at least the entrepreneurial skills are things will be beneficial to you in your life, whether it's in your romantic life, in your family life, in your employment, future employment life. So let's see how things progress from here. The reason why I say this, because I see entrepreneurship as converting challenges into opportunities. As simple as that. And it's rather optimistic and romantic. So it sees the world as a world that's full of possibilities. Whatever you want, you can be. The world is not going to end tomorrow. No, we will work out something. Even the petroleum is depleting. We'll work out something. We'll do something about it to make a difference, to eventually make money. But it's very optimistic and very romantic as well. Yet it's very practical and very hands-on. So it's not you just dream things up. No, you will do things. You will work hard so that you bring the dreams to realization. Now, all of you remember this, right? I spoke about dreaming big, being different, and having fun throughout your studies, and I use this to address the new students every time they join us. And I think entrepreneurship is when innovation, engineering converge, and then we can really dream big, be different, and have fun. And I hope, the reason why I put this, I'm reminding you with the promise, and I really hope that throughout this course you really dream big and do different things, and in the process have fun. So let me tell you a story. A gentleman by the name of Jerry Sternin in 1990 was sent by an organization called Save the Children to fight severe malnutrition in rural communities in Vietnam. So that was in 1990. The Vietnamese foreign minister told him, Jerry, you're a very smart person. You are the expert in malnutrition among children. I'm giving you 6 months to help us with this challenge in Vietnam, and I'd like you to show us a difference within 6 months. Now, the malnutrition in Vietnam, and most of places among the children mainly, is caused by poor sanitation. So these people don't have, running water, they don't have proper toilets, they don't have sewage system. Poverty, they are very poor, they don't have money to buy food, and there's lack of education. So the mothers are illiterate, they don't really wash their hands before preparing the foods and things like that. So what can one person do to solve these challenges in 6 months? Do you think this is a trivial thing? Because we know the challenge, but we know why. It's not like this is a challenge that we don't know its sources. We know it's because of poverty, because of lack of education, and because of sanitation. So you just solve it. So can you solve poverty in 6 months? Can you solve poverty in 60 years? So what would you do if you were in such a situation? This is a question. Dominic, what would you do? Start from the bottom. Meaning? Right. So go to the course and maybe start some classes, right? And have some projects so that you build the sanitation and also give people money or jobs, right? So that they are. Can you do that? Yeah, I think this is just to speak to the camera, so it's recorded. Yes, can you do that? It's a logical thing. You know the source, so you go and fix it. How much money you think you will need to do that? Yeah, you need to speak loud. We don't have a sound system, unfortunately, but this will get recorded in the camera, so don't worry. Yeah.
I think it will work, but it might take a lot of money, like you said, and also time.
Right. So 6 months will be. You will educate like all the mothers in 6 months, so they are.
I think they have to select maybe a group.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great. Now, as you could see, this is sounds simple enough, but these are extremely complex challenges. As a matter of fact, in certain places, even if I go and give them money, because of the corruption, because of the lack of the system, maybe the people will still won't get it. Now, what Jerry Sternen did was, let me search for the entrepreneur, because I believe he was an entrepreneur himself. He maybe didn't make much money out of this, but he thought as an entrepreneur, and he said to himself, let me search for an entrepreneur. So he asked himself a question: are there any very poor families in these villages where children are bigger and healthier than the others? So he spent few weeks just going around the villages and checking, oh, so this mother, oh, this is malnutrition child. Oh, this child looks healthy, but the mother is just like every other mother. Then he realized that there are few. Then they checked that these families have no extra income, have no well-connected relatives that are giving them extra rations of food, so they are typical families. Then he went on watching what these mothers did. What did they do differently? So the mothers of the healthiest children were doing things differently. So they were feeding their children smaller portions of food more often daily. So apparently in Vietnam, people eat twice a day. But these mothers were feeding their children maybe smaller portions, but over 4 or 5 times a day. That's the first difference that he has discovered. Then these mothers, they work in the fields. So while they're working in the field, they will find brine shrimps and some other green from the sweet potato, and these are seen by the locals as low-class food. No one eats them. But the mothers collect those and take it home, chop it, and put it with the rice porridge that they are feeding to their children. Now, this increases the protein intake from something that's already available within the environment. No one wants to take it, but these mothers just take it and then add it to the food. And this sounds very simple or silly. When mothers feed their children, what do? They scoop from the bottom of the pot. You know, the heavy things will sink. So they scoop from the bottom, so they make sure that the child will take the shrimp and the green of the sweet potato that they have put for them. And that made all the difference. Now, comparing to educating the mothers, solving poverty, do you think these things that you could maybe convince mothers to do? The shrimp is available, and the moment you can communicate to them, to the mothers, that if you start doing things differently, then you will have some good results, I think this is going to be done. And that's exactly what did he do. Not only that, he actually put the mothers together and asked them to cook together so that they learn from each other. So it's not like just an American going to teach them how to feed their children. So this is a picture of him with the mothers. He's working with them and talking to them. And he managed to reduce the malnutrition by 65%. So the mothers they don't make money from changing the way they did things. This person, this gentleman, he didn't get rich out of this because these are very poor people. They won't be able to pay him anything. But I would like to think they thought as an entrepreneur. And this is, at least to my mind, is entrepreneurship. Any reflection, any comment, any question? Or you are overwhelmed? So this is a message to the online students. I think you will be missing nothing because my students, they don't interact with me either. So it's as good as watching the class from your bedroom. Okay, I'll share another example of an entrepreneurial kind of exercise. Now you notice I'm on purpose picking examples that not the ones that come to your mind straight away. I don't want to talk about Apple and how Microsoft start, not because they are not entrepreneurial. They are definitely very entrepreneurial in nature, but I'm showing you entrepreneurship in other contexts, and I think that's extremely important. Yesterday, I attended a training or a talk by a gentleman from Mumbai, and he talks about a group of people. They are called the Dabbawalas. Have you heard of them? So apparently these people, they deliver food in India, home-cooked food in Mumbai. So they take the food in tiffins, and they take it from the families, from home, and they send to the husband or son who is working, and they take the tiffin back home. And apparently, their level of accuracy is, there is a 1 error in 16 million delivery. So it's better than DHL. And they are very cost effective, and they are always on time. And it's a very interesting way how they do their business. So let me just share with you this, so I can play this or not.
If you visit Mumbai, you are bound to notice the Dabbawalas. You may not realize this, but the Dabbawalas are a very important part of life in Mumbai. They are the ones who make sure that nearly 200,000 people get their lunch in time at their offices or schools every day from home. Their operations are so efficient that world personalities like Prince Charles and Richard Branson have visited them. They have been invited for lectures at business schools. They are even said to be Six Sigma compliant. Now, what is a dabba? A dabba is simply a tiffin box carrying home-cooked food, which is to be delivered from the home to a person in an office or a school. And the dabbawala is a person who picks up the food from the home and ensures that it is delivered to the right office to the right person on time.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम रघुनाथ धोंडेवा मेदगे हूँ। मैं डब्बावाला एसोसिएशन का प्रेसिडेंट हूँ। हमारी डब्बा का सर्विस 18 से 90 से शुरू है। हमारे टोटल 5000 मेंबर्स बम्बई में कार्यरत है।
It all may sound fairly simple, but imagine doing this in one of the most densely populated cities in the world. The Dabbawalas have high rates of accuracy and their error rates are shockingly 1 in a million only. And what is even more impressive, that all the Dabbawalas are fairly illiterate and have no use of any technology. The only motorized transport used is the Mumbai local trains. Other than that, they make use of hand-drawn carts and bicycles.
मेरी ग्रुप की साइकिल है, अंधेरी स्टेशन में छोड़ के जाता हूँ, तो मैं दूसरे ग्रुप की साइकिल डिलीवरी पॉइंट पे यूज करता हूँ और मेरी साइकिल वो लोग यूज करते हैं.
The dabbas or the lunch boxes have a color coding scheme which makes sure that they get to the right destination. The structure of this organization is fairly flat. It has just 3 levels. First, the governing body. Second, the team leads or the supervisors. And third, the dabbawalas. And everyone is an equal shareholder in this organization. There are no bosses and the earnings are equally divided.
हर एक बंदा का काम टीम के लिए करना है. अगर एक बंदा कम काम करेगा तो पूरी टीम की इनकम सोर्स लो हो जाती है.
All the dabbawalas come from the same Warkari sect, and whenever any replacement is required, villages that have this Warkari sect are approached for suitable candidates. To join this organization as a dabbawala, the dabbawalas have to bring a few things: a long wooden crate, 2 bicycles, and ₹20 for a Gandhi cap that they wear. And how much do you think would it cost to avail of this very efficient dabba service? Less than $10 a month. While the operations are fairly simple, the dabbawalas are now beginning to work with newer technologies. You can SMS them or you can also log on to their site mydabbawala.com to avail of their services.
अभी लंदन में भी प्रिंस चार्ल्स की शादी में जाकर आया हूँ. इटली में 2 बार जाने का मौका हमें मिला है. और मैगजीन ने भी हमारी रिसर्च की थी, BBC ने भी डॉक्यूमेंट्री वहाँ बना के दी थी. हमारे ऊपर देखते हैं कि इनको क्यों ना 6 सिग्मा देना चाहिए. हमें तो पता ही नहीं 6 सिग्मा क्या है.
And given their reach in Mumbai, Microsoft has also partnered with the Dabbawalas. The Dabbawalas distributed leaflets and wore Microsoft branded clothes to spread awareness of genuine Windows softwares to their customers.
5000 बम्बई के डब्बे वाले 4 लाख टिफिन का ट्रांजैक्शन पर डे लोकल ट्रेन से, साइकिल से और मैन पावर की वजह से कर रहे हैं.
I'm Premjit Singh, showing you Mumbai.
So, is this entrepreneurial? They are working again with whatever is available, and they are extremely efficient. And apparently, they are also ISO 9000 certified. And interestingly, it's because of the level of performance that they have achieved. So they never applied for this. They told us that we are 6 Sigma. And I don't know what 6 Sigma is. And you know, 6 Sigma is this system that was pioneered by General Electric to say that, you know, your process is consistent. So you make very few errors and the process is consistent. So yesterday I attended the talk by, so this organization now has an educational arm, and it has a CEO who gave a talk for a whole day for almost maybe few hundred people, business people in Malaysia. And because of the level of my interaction with him, he gave me this. Yeah, and I have a picture with him. Yeah. So I think there are plenty of things to be learned from what these people do, from what mothers in Vietnam do, and from what we can do differently to make the world a better place, and in the future hopefully make tons of money. I'm not against that, but the key thing is, what is the purpose that we are here? What is the thing that we want to do differently to add value, not only for us but for the people around us? So I think now I'm ready to share with you my personal notes. And it's about why am I doing this course. You know, this is something that's very close to my heart. And we call it the journey to zero. I know you guys are paying quite high fees, and thank you very much, because it pays for my salary as well, so it's great. You know, keep it coming for now. But I really think that education should be done for free. So anyone who wants to be educated as an entrepreneur or as an engineer should not pay. We should reach a stage where students don't have to pay to get education. It's just like you don't have to pay to breathe air. So this is a part of the dream. The other part is, I really would like to have a zero impact on the job market. Let me explain what do I mean by this. So you think about it, if I have 100 engineering graduates going out. Now if you think of Taylor's as a university, you'll have maybe a couple of thousands graduates every year going out to the job market. What do these people do? They are looking for a job. And by looking for a job, they are competing with other people who are looking for a job. So since everyone is looking for a job and everyone is looking for a better job, who is making the jobs? This is a question, right? Since every one of us, or almost everyone, not those who are rich enough, they don't need to work, but almost every one of us would need a job. And there are certain jobs maybe in higher demand. So who's going to make the jobs? What do you think, Tommy? Is the question clear?
Yeah, it's clear, but morning, tired.
You are tired?
Yes.
Okay.
Tired still.
Right. Okay. Maybe you can give to Gabriel, see whether... So the question is, every one of us wants a job. Who's making the jobs?
People who are already in the industry.
Right.
Who are already working, who have established themselves in their companies or something.
So if you are an engineer working in the industry, will that make you a job generator?
If you just entered the market? So?
No, you are established. So now,
yes.
I give you an example. So I've been teaching for very long. Did I create jobs? I think I'm creating people who are wanting jobs. So my impact on the job market is every year I'm sending more people into the market, fighting with other people, especially for the fewer, better jobs. So who is creating the jobs? Who is putting jobs in the markets? You've never thought of that? Fine. Anyone has an answer? Yes, please. Yeah, give her the mic.
The entrepreneurs?
So the entrepreneurs are the ones who will make the jobs, right? Yeah. Maybe you could say it again.
Entrepreneurs.
So if you will make jobs, if you tomorrow open a restaurant, then straight away you will need 2 cooks, cleaner, waiters, and this is extremely necessary. So my dream, that's a personal dream, is if I have 100 graduates coming out of the school, let's say a year, and let's say 95 of them go out there and compete with the rest of the world for jobs. I hope that the remaining 5 will have the dream of creating 95 jobs. So if these 5 spin off a company, a business, have a new idea, make a new computer, new phone, new whatever, and through this, they will employ not necessarily engineers, but maybe 3 accountants, 10 general workers, a driver, a dispatch boy, and cleaners. At the end of the day, I hope that our role as an institution, and especially as a school, is to create jobs as well. So we not only think of how do we prepare our graduates so they go and grab the job that the other graduates want to have. We prepare them so well that they will take all the better jobs in the market, but we also try to talk to them and convince them that creating jobs is actually a very noble thing. So these are the things that entrepreneurs do. And as I told you, the skills that we are sharing here will help you lead a better life, but maybe some of you will end up convinced that they can literally create jobs and add value in the process, make money as well. So what I hope to achieve is really a sustainable value. So it's not only the value that can be added for a certain period of time, but how can we sustain the value? And I think being in an educational institution puts us in a very unique position to achieve this, because we are working with you at the thought process. Now, I just want to address the issue of entrepreneurship and why maybe an engineer teaching that. And I think it's the system approach to entrepreneurship that maybe an engineer can provide to the discussion table so that people view things differently. So we think that engineers conceive, so they think of new product, they design it, and then they implement it or build it, and then they operate it. Now, if you think of this is exactly what entrepreneurs do. They think of a new product or a service, they'll find a way to bring it to life, package it, sell it, and ensure that the customers are satisfied and happy, and the service or the product is delivered continuously in a sustainable and safe manner. I normally use the iPhone as an example, because if you look at what's written at the back, it says designed by Apple in California. So it's designed in California. And then it says manufactured in China. So the implementation here. Now, but we know before this thing is designed, there was someone who thought of it, who said, it should look like this, it should use hands, I don't want to use a stylus. These are all thoughts in the mind of a person or group of people. So someone has conceived, had thought of providing a new way of communicating. You know, when was the iPhone released? 97, 2007. So prior to 2007, let's say in 2005, if someone wants to buy a mobile phone, what is the #1 brand? Yes? Nokia. Yeah. You guys are from Finland, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. So are you happy with that the iPhone has toppled Nokia? Very happy. Not happy. Okay. So what are you going to do about it?
Basically nothing.
you are going to do nothing. You just use the iPhone. Yeah. Great. So in 2005, you know, no one can conceive. This Nokia is so good, so well established, so easy to use that you can produce something different and easier and sexier and so on. But someone dared to dream. Someone dared to think differently and dare to conceive something different. And now, Nokia is number what in the market? Very interesting, isn't it? I mean, okay, so that's Apple. So I know that Samsung makes fridges. I have a fridge at home that's Samsung. But now, sometimes they even outsell the iPhone, right? So suddenly you have Samsung, Apple. Is Nokia number 3 now? Did they make it to? Yeah, so around that. That's actually a very interesting kind of story, if you really think about it. And it tells you that any one of us, no matter how established a product or a service is, we could think differently and maybe topple that, and we become number 1 and they can become number 2, or we can even drive them out of the market. Although I don't like this competitive kind of thinking, but I'm telling you that it is possible. So this is what I would like to say, that when entrepreneurship is approached with a system kind of thinking, then conceiving, designing, implementing, operating is a framework for entrepreneurship, which we believe it's also a framework for engineering and is also a framework for innovation. So I really see a lot of convergence here. I have an exercise now. So get a piece of paper, please. And draw a car. Just draw a car. Just play along, please. Doesn't have to be very detailed. Just something when you show us, we would be able to tell that it's a car. This shouldn't take long, just a few seconds. Don't have to look into his paper cash. You've seen a car, I'm sure. Just draw it, Cash. Okay, done? Okay, now next to the car, draw a trivoslone. Just next to it. Huh? You guys are engineering students, aren't you? Sorry? Never heard of it.
It's okay, Google it up. Just Google it.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. So just Google that. So haven't heard of it. Don't Google. It's okay, don't Google. So you can't draw anything. So actually, what has happened, you saw cars all over the place, and you roughly know what does a car look like. So you have an image of the car in your mind. So you can't draw it because there's an image in your mind. So there's an image, there's a name. You can execute that easily. But you have not seen a trivoslone. There's no image in your brain for it, right? So you cannot draw anything. There's no image. There's no name. It actually doesn't exist. I just made it up. I just wanted to, to make a point that this is, sometimes these are some of the simple experiments that we work out to just understand how our brain works. no one really knows how the brain works, but we can do experiments, sometimes very simple experiments that could tell us a lot about how our brain works. So for all of you, if you think about it, even the car itself, when you were born, you actually don't know what a car is, right? Maybe apart from you, right? No. Yeah. So when you were born, you don't have these concepts of, but you see image, then you attach a name to it, and then it becomes yours. And then when you recall it, you don't really think of how did this thought, how was it generated? How was that thought or concept generated? We don't really think of that. But that's extremely important, and that's extremely important for the promise of brain rewiring, because this is an important part of the course as well. So that's a child. So let's say that this child is, have seen something new. Something that this child have seen for the first time. Could be a car, could be a triathlon or whatever. So the child sees something. And if you notice, for those who have seen children, that when they see something new, what do? They will look into it, and often they are uttering things. They say, ba, ma, something. They are actually trying to say, what is this? Or let me call this or name this something. Then the baby will, while talking, what will they normally do? So if you give them this, what will they do? Yes? Bite. Lick. Right? Why? They're examining it. They want to know, why is this? Is it good? Does it taste good? Does it taste bad? And they're examining it. Is it hot? Will it give me a shock? They want to explore. And then they will make an action or make a decision. So if it's bitter or hot, they will cry. If it tastes good, maybe they will smile and ask for more. That's actually what happened. That's exactly how our thoughts form. You think about it. Everything that you take for granted now, the language that you know, the images that you have, they have been formed. We can recall a time where you did not know about all these things, and slowly things are formed in your brain. So if we would like to draw a mental model for thinking, we can say that thinking starts by naming. So we would like to name things, and then we classify them. So we say, oh, okay, this is good, this is bad, and then we process. So we decide what we are going to do about that. You see, this is something I use when I do my corporate training as well. So I go and, let's say, there's a room that's full of bankers, they haven't seen me, and I try to convince them that this is the way they think. No, I don't think like that, I'm different. So I say, okay, when you first saw me in the morning, what name did you give me? No, I didn't give you. I said, like, think about it. When you first saw me, what came to your mind? Oh, I thought of the guy with the mustache, or the tall guy, or the stupid guy, or whatever, right? So actually, we need to give things names. You think about it. What do you call these guys? You don't know their names, right? So Chris, when in your mind they are who? They are the exchange students, right? But if I pick one student, maybe he's the handsome one, right? So you will have to give, you have to name the new image that you are forming, because this is a very important stage of forming the thought. And I will see now why this is important to our course as well. So I have another exercise for you, and okay. So what is this? Cockroach. Okay. So you see this, What do you think of it? Just give me the names, the words, the adjectives that comes to your mind. Ugly. Okay, what else? Yes, tell me. Ugly, huh? Yes? What else? Yes? Dirty, okay. Ugly. Dirty. Yes. Huh? A gift of nature, okay. Gift of nature.
Taste bad.
Taste well. Taste bad. You've tried that. You see, I told you children will try to taste everything, and I think this is a proof. So it didn't taste well, right? When you tried it, tastes bad. Okay, so generally speaking, this invokes some negative thoughts into us, and that. So if you notice, we are following. We name it, then we are processing. We are classifying it. So it tastes bad. It's ugly. It's dirty. Is whatever. And what should we do with it?
Kill it.
Yeah. So we kill it. We kill it. Exactly that's what happens. You are exactly right. Now, let me keep this in mind, and I would like to talk to you about something else. Problems versus opportunities and challenges. And I would like to tell you another story that really happened in our school. A couple of years ago, we had a staff meeting. And, we are discussing what needs to be done and how to do this and that. And your lecturers are always telling me the thing like, oh, I have a problem. So what's your problem? The students don't come on time. These are useless students. Big problem. Okay. So what about you? I have a problem. Why? We don't have enough space. So the classroom is very small, and the other one. So how's things? Problem. Oh, what's your problem? Oh, there's no parking. I always come, and because of this. So what about you? Problem. It trains. Like always. When I leave, it trains. It's a big problem. So I noticed that the word problem keeps on appearing again and again in almost every sentence we do it. As a matter of fact, if everything is okay, we say no problem. So the problem will have to appear every time we speak. So I thought in that meeting itself to borrow a trick from the kindergarten. So in your kindergarten days, when you say a bad word, they make you pay 10 cents or 5 cents. So just to curb the use of the bad word, the S word or the whatever word, yes. So I told my colleagues, let's try to change the way we think. And let's make it a point that every time any one of us utters the P word, for him or her to pay 5 ringgit. So $1 US is 3 ringgit, so you could work out this is around 1.5 US dollar. And there was a revolution. They said, no way. I said, look, let's try. We are adults and we teach all these kids how to behave. I think we can control ourselves. Eventually, we agreed on paying 1 ringgit every time we utter the P word. Before the end of the meeting, I was 6 ringgit poorer myself. So I realized how difficult it is actually not to use the P word. However, we created what we called the opportunity fund. So we appointed one of our colleagues to hold this fund, and every time we utter the word, hopefully we have the integrity to declare this and go and pay her the 1 ringgit. Or if someone has caught us uttering the P word, then he will help us to, to report us, and then we pay. By the end of the semester, we had 350 ringgit, but I can tell you, we don't use the P word as much. As a matter of fact, even because one of the colleagues say, look, do you know my tutorials, I say problem 1, problem 2. How do I not use this? I say, okay, if you say challenge 1, how would that look? Okay, fine, I'll try to do it. Okay, I'll do it. Challenge 1, okay, sounds good. So it actually, now, I think I do have a control. As a matter of fact, the only time I use the P word is when I teach this part. Otherwise, if you notice, I don't use it. And we went on a crusade through our curriculum, and we removed whenever the P word appears, and we replaced it with a challenge. So you resolve challenges rather than P solve. So we think it's very important to to use the right language, and I'm going to tell you why. So solving P's is a destination. So there's a cockroach you want to kill. So you think only of the destination, while realizing opportunities is a journey. So if you view this somehow as an opportunity, then as you move on, there is a journey with milestones, and you will enjoy it more, and it's going to be more sustainable as well. So I give you an example. This is a very interesting mission statement. This is from one of our online students. She is a personal trainer, and she wants to change Detroit from fat to fit. That's her project, and I invite you to go and search for her and maybe join her project if you believe in that. Now, if she sees this as an opportunity, as a challenge, then as she moves through, she will be, through a journey rather than just thinking of the final. So maybe if I'm just thinking of the final thing to do, I just give them a drug, and then that will make them fit, but that could create other issues as well. So then I had to deliver a training to an energy company, and it's about P solving. So I realized that this training is going to be all about P's. So I thought maybe a good way to train the minds of my students would be to ask them to pay 1 ringgit every time they utter the P word. But I was also thinking, these guys are my clients, they are paying me. What if they decided not to cooperate? So the whole thing will collapse. So I said, let me do something different. So we developed an opportunity banknote. So I printed enough of these, and I've given every one of them 3. And I said, every time you are going to utter the P word, I'm going to take one of those from you. And once you deplete them, so you've given all the 3, you have to start paying me real money. They say, no problem. And guess what? By 10 a.m., we started around like 8:30. By 10 a.m., I got all my notes back. And they now have to start paying me, the real money. And they actually start watching each other. Oh, you've mentioned it. You have to pay. So this is going to be available to we'll put it online so the online students can actually print it. And I'm going to give every one of you one, maybe after the class, because it's very important to have this as a relic, to remind us how important the language that we use. The language will drive the naming stage of the thinking, which is, I hope that I've proven to them, is the first stage of the formation of thoughts. Now, I also would like to have a pledge. So throughout this course, I would like you not to utter the P word. Can we agree on that? Yes. Don't hear you. Can hear you. Yes. Yes. No. Who said no? Someone is not planning to pass the course. Yeah. Okay, so I really would like you to play along and don't mention the P word throughout this course. Actually, if you think about it, you just take it away, remove it from your life. Who wants P's in their life? Now, let us do the same exercise again, but without using any negative terms. So what is this? Yeah, is an insect. Is insect a positive thing? Is a creature. Yeah, so maybe, one way to do it. Now, I didn't make this up. This is its scientific name, okay? So this is Blatella asahinai. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't have anything in your mind that is negatively associated with this. So let's call it the BA. So this is the BA. Okay. Now I want you to describe it without any negative terms. Now you are having new thoughts of that meal. Where did you have that meal? Yeah. Okay. So it tastes great. Okay. What else? You know, we can describe things by the number of legs they have, by their color. It's not only like kill it, it's ugly. It's just play along, please, and give me words. Yvonne. Brown, yes. Okay. Yes. What? Resilient. Resilient. Why do you say it's resilient, Mike?
It can survive a nuclear fallout.
So it can survive a nuclear fallout attack. Yeah. So it survives radiation. It survives even if you cut its head. So it's very resilient creature. So it's brown, resilient. What else? Fast. Yes, fast. Yes. What else? Flies. It can fly. What else? Has wings. And so on and so forth. There's actually plenty of things that we can talk about this specific creature without using any negative terms. So it's flyer, resilient, brown, has antennas, six-legged, winged, has high level of protein. Yeah. Now, if you think of it from that point of view, what can we do with it? So you can eat it, and some of us have done that already. What else we can do with it? Yes? Yes? Do nuclear tests on it. Yes. Okay, so we can do nuclear tests on it. What else we can do? Where does this thing live? It lives in the sewage. This is an international course, so you need to speak English, right? Okay, so it lives in the... But you see, so can we, for example, attach a camera to it? And then maybe it can go and feed back the health of our sewage system. Can we put sensors on it, and then we can get data from that? Can we use it as feed for animals? I don't know. There are many things that can be done. But what I'm trying to say here is, when you have your thinking model, you start with the naming. And the naming pretty much drives everything else. So it will affect the classification, and once it's classified, the processing is very clear. So for example, if you look at me and you think, oh, this is the guy who was angry with me when I was late, I really hate him. yeah, he's bad. I don't think you will like the course, and that will have an impact. But if something else happens, and maybe I bought you a drink or gave you a lift, and I become your favorite lecturer, most likely you call me, oh, this is a great guy, and then in the process you like the course. I mean, that doesn't apply to you, so it's okay. Yeah. And that will help you, do things differently. So we need to drive the thinking process at the naming stage. You try this. Even if there is a person that you dislike or a person that you have big issues with, and the moment the person comes in, you try to listen to yourself. What are you telling yourself? Oh, there comes the troublemaker. Oh, this guy is coming. But if you try to catch yourself at the naming stage and say, okay, let's say I hate Gabriel a lot, and he comes in and I say, nice shoes. This is the guy with nice shoes. It may sound like, what am I saying? But this helps you saying, oh, after a while, you realize that, yeah, these are really nice shoes. Where did you buy them, man? Then maybe we discover that we have an interest in the same style of shoes, and then we become friends. So this is how things happen at this level. So I will talk more about brain rewiring, and so let's assume now we know how the brain thinks. This is a theory, but I hope that I have proven that this is a useful model, which is the naming, classifying, processing. So let's say we know how the brain works. So how do we rewire it? And rewiring the brain actually is extremely important because it will enable us to create the new world. So as someone has created the car, we saw it, created an image, found the name for it, and then maybe the association with it. Now, when a new thing is produced, it starts as a thought, then an image and a name. So this process works both ways. So you create something, I see it, what do I call this? So I have to give it a name. I don't know, maybe the controller, maybe it has a specific name, but I maybe don't know it. I will give it a name. The thing, the stuff that I use it to control my computer. So an image, a name, then a thought, or how I do with it. It also starts as a thought, an image, a name. So we need to really wire this very positively so that the world becomes a better place. So I want to show you this picture. What is this? You've done biology, right? So this is what is this? This is a neuron. And the neurons attached to each other, there's always this kind of space between them. And here you have electrochemical activity. So there is electricity that fires, and there is a saying in the neurology world, neurons that fire together, wire together. So if we keep on thinking about a certain thing in a certain way, we are firing the neuron, the synaptic of the neuron in a certain way. And the more we fire, then we create real physical links. Now, even existing links can be rewired. The brain is proving to be highly resilient. After someone has a stroke, part of the brain will literally die, the neurons in that, and that could be an area where it controls a certain part of the body. But the doctors are amazed that after a while, the brain reconfigures itself, and another region of the brain starts taking control over that part, and people regain their ability to speak and move. but with a lot of difficulty because there is learning that's taking place. And the learning is the part that we are talking about. So now we understand how the thought is operated. We literally can, through exercise, fire our neurons in a certain way so that they are wired in the way that we want. So if you want to have a positive attitude, if you want to see opportunities and money and whatever everywhere, that's the way that you need to think. So now I want you to write down 5 things that you are grateful for. You are blessed people, aren't you? Okay, among the million things that you are blessed, I'm sure you've got very long list now. So how many of you actually came up with 10? Okay, 5. How many of you came up with 5? 4. 3. 2. 1. None. Now, was it easy? Was it an easy exercise? So how many you came up with? 4. So you couldn't get the 5. Who found it a bit challenging, a bit difficult to find, to actually came up with 5 very quickly? Who would like to share with us their 3 or 5 or 4? Okay, I'm definitely going to record all the classes and then you guys just listen to them on your own pace. You don't have to come very early in the morning. You see, our brains are built to respond to negative stimulus. So now, if I turn off the aircon, within few minutes, this is tropical Malaysia, so it's going to be very stuffy very quickly. You will straight away say, oh, I know, this is very bad. I don't feel comfortable. As a matter of fact, you've been sitting for quite some time now, and some of you I could see you're not very comfortable. And I think if I ask you what are the things that you don't feel grateful for, maybe you say the chair is not that comfortable. You know, the aircon maybe is not really that working. The slides are not that clear. It's very easy for us to pick the negative things. And you don't have to blame yourself because this is the way we are wired. We are wired to realize that there is danger, there's threat, animals are trying to eat us, we have to run away. We are wired to do that. But for us to be able to realize opportunities, we need to rewire our brain so that we have an eye for the opportunities that are available around us. So this is an exercise that you will need to do daily. From now until the end of this course, you will need to report and share 3 things that you are grateful for every day. So if you go to the openlearning.com, there is a tab that says brain rewiring. You click on this and then you just go and make, you add an entry. Every day, 3 things. And they have to be different things. This is extremely important, and there is a huge body of scientific research behind it. People who have done this for a prolonged period, they reported that they are happier. They reported that they were more productive. And I would like you to do that. As a matter of fact, you guys are going to be assessed based on this. So I would like you to go and write these things that you are grateful for, and as you move on, see what other people are grateful for as well. And that will create, this is called the appreciative inquiry. So instead of we look for what are the things that are going wrong in our life, we focus on what is going right, and we build on that. And the process of typing this will wire the neurons in a certain way. And I would like you to do that. Any question about this? This is an extremely important part of the course, and I expect this from both on-campus students and online students as well. So if you have no question, I presume that you guys are happy with this. And I'll talk about what's going to happen next. So what are we supposed to do? All of us need to think of a project. Now, if you go to the Open Learning page, you will see that the online students have started their groups, and some of them have put projects on. And you guys are supposed to do the same. So you can come and see me at any time, and you also can post entries online, which I will respond to as well. The Dabbawalas that we just spoke about, they're actually they're under pressure now. They are saying that the business is dwindling because they used to deliver to schools, but the schools now give lunch. More companies are providing free lunch for their staff. So their way of doing things, their way of life is being threatened. And there are people who are telling them the way to go is you try to advertise on your uniform, you try to do this, do that. They are trying to corporatize them, and I don't think this is really the way to go. So I spoke to the trainer yesterday, and I told him I'm going to speak to my students, both on campus and online, to see if there's anyone who's interested in coming up with a business plan on how to make this Dabbawala way of doing things continue for another 120 years, because they have been here for 120 years. And I think their passion, their commitment to their work, their pride of the thing that they are doing is really something that is great to stay so that we all can learn from. So you need to start thinking of a project. You have a question? There is an activity. It's supposed to be a pre-course activity. So for those of you who have just registered, I would like you to complete that. It's very simple, 4 questions that you need to complete. Everyone who have completed the activity, I responded to them. So I'm going to read the activity. So make sure that you write it carefully. I would like every one of you to update their profile picture. So this is really a request from both online students and on-campus students. And the reason is, if you put a real picture, that encourages interaction. So people will see, oh, there's a real person at the other end, and then they will be more than happy to work with you. You need to start forming a team. So as I told you, for the on-campus students, I would like you to pair yourself into 2, and you will need to start looking at the skills and the attributes that's available online and bring these people who are online to join you. So you need to convince them, you need to pitch your project so that these people are excited about it and willing to join you. And I would like you to interact as much as you can. So you go and read the entries. Some of them are really, really amazing. We have great people online, and I think all of us have a lot that we can learn from them. So go, have a look, and comment. If you like something, comment on it. If you have an idea, please share it. You will be given homeworks, and some of the activities require something to be submitted, and I really would like you to do that on time. So this is how the teams and projects page on Open Learning looks like. So these are projects that are being formed. So you see project group supporting families with disabled children. This is the League of Extraordinary Entrepreneurs. MOOC towards credit. So the guys who are online, they don't really earn credits for this, for attending. So how do we do it differently so that they could earn credit? So can we come up with a situation in which people could take maybe a MOOC from here, another one from Harvard, another one from MIT, and eventually put the credits together, and there is a body that accredit this and say, okay, this is a degree in business, or this is a diploma in communication, or something like that. Online staffing. So these are projects that you could just, and then you can join and see the discussion that's happening here. While this part here is really when you can say, okay, I have this idea. So you could advertise your idea here, and once you form the team, you could form it there. So this part is for the person who have established or initiated the project. So what you need to do is, I have a tab that's called Teams and Projects. Just click on that, and it will take you here. The page is very easy. It looks like a Facebook, so it's just edit page, create content. I see that Chris is nodding, and you want to say something, right? Is it not easy, Chris? Give him the mic, please. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. No, you just talk. Yeah.
I think it's a bit difficult to take it in at first because there's so many tabs and so many postings, and we really don't know where to start.
Right.
Say ideas, there's I can see there's so many right now.
Right.
So maybe if there's a way that you can recommend or something, maybe the projects that more people can actually join.
If I recommend what, sorry?
The more potential and good projects that more people can join in to pull together the kind of like team.
Okay. I really don't want to recommend. I think it should be you guys who decide. Now, if you, maybe I can, later I'll try to go online and show you how I think the whole thing is done. So what you have is a tab that's called Home, then Course Feed, then Teams and Projects, then Gallery, and then the Brain Rewiring. So the Gallery is where it shows you everything that has been submitted by the students for the activities that we asked them to do. And the projects are only on the Teams and Projects. Now, the course content is where I put the course content and where, for example, this lecture is going to appear. So the course content is really my area. Now, the philosophy of open learning is everywhere is a forum. So even on my lecture, you can comment. So they don't preventing you from doing this. So it may take a little bit of learning. Let's all see how it goes. Now, thinking about projects, I have a video to share with you, which is about really not projects, but rather about leadership. So let's just watch.
Gentlemen, at TED we talk a lot about leadership and how to make a movement. So let's watch a movement happen, start to finish, in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons from it. First, of course you know, a leader needs the guts to stand out and be ridiculed. But what he's doing is so easy to follow. So here's his first follower with a crucial role. He's going to show everyone else how to follow. Now notice that the leader embraces him as an equal. So now it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Now there he is calling to his friends. Now if you notice that the first follower is actually an underestimated form of leadership in itself. It takes guts to stand out like that. The first follower is what transforms a lone nut into a leader. And here comes a second follower. Now it's not a lone nut, it's not two nuts, 3 is a crowd, and the crowd is news. So a movement must be public. It's important to show not just the leader, but the followers, because you find that new followers emulate the followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, and immediately after, 3 more people. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point. Now we've got a movement. So notice that as more people join in, it's less risky. So those that were sitting on the fence before now have no reason not to. They won't stand out. They won't be ridiculed, but they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. So over the next minute, you'll see all of the those that prefer to stick with the crowd, because eventually they would be ridiculed for not joining in. And that's how you make a movement. But let's recap some lessons from this. So first, if you are the type, like the shirtless dancing guy, that is standing alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals. So it's clearly about the movement, not you. Okay, but we might have missed the real lesson here. The biggest lesson, if you noticed, did you catch it? Is that leadership is over-glorified. That yes, it was the shirtless guy was first, and he'll get all the credit, but it was really the first follower that transformed the lone nut into a leader. So as we're told that we should all be leaders, that would be really ineffective. If you really care about starting a movement, have the courage to follow and show others how to follow. And when you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to stand up and join in. And what a perfect place to do that, TED. Thanks.
So what I'm trying to say here is dare to put something in. It could be a crazy project, and also if you've seen someone has put something of interest, to be the person that will convert this lone nut into a leader, that's actually a form of leadership on its own. So let's try to do that. On Friday we are having a tutorial session, and it's going to be here as well. It's going to be less structured, and you will be by then hopefully having your partner. And I expect some of you to have identified the skills that you want, initiated some contacts, especially with the online students. Now, you've seen this gentleman. His name is Derek Sivers, and actually he has another message, and that message is for you guys.
Hi, this is Derek Sivers. I'm sending you these videos for Professor Mushtak Al-Atabi and the first massive open online course in Malaysia. I'm very excited for you. I think this is a great class. I also love Malaysia, and I hope I can come there in person soon. But until then, I hope you find these videos useful. And anyone, please, after you see them, feel free to email me directly. Send me any questions. I'm happy to help if I can. Thanks.
I've contacted him, and we will bring him to speak to us, hopefully within the course. So what you are doing now, you are being part of a big thing, and you will never know when our MOOC is successful. You could be part of those who dare to do something different that will change maybe how higher education is being delivered in the region or in the country. Okay, so let's recap. You will report the 3 new things that you are grateful for on a daily basis. Please start by doing this today. Okay, just write anything that you are grateful for. I promise you, within a week, it will become more natural and it will become easier. So let's all do that. And you will actively replace the P word with opportunity or challenge in the way you communicate verbally and in a written format. And you will actively get yourself into a team and a project. Now, the other thing that is going to happen after each class, and that's again for both online and on-campus students, is we'll provide some reflective questions. So you will need to write, there will be a form that prompts you to complete, And there, you will need to answer this question: what did you learn today? And what will you start doing differently from today onwards? You could just say, I will do nothing differently. I think I'm perfect. I am the way everyone should be. Or maybe if you've picked something, you could start doing that. Now the last one is really a question for the online students, because to stream the lectures live will require a bit more effort on not only my side but the team. You see, it's actually not only me here. There are 4 people for us to be able to do this successfully. So if the online students are interested in attending live, they need to indicate this so that we see whether this adds value or not. And that's about it. You've survived your first lecture. Well done. Thank you very much.